Leanne, ons is so trots op jou. Wel gedaan. Ek weet aan die einde van hierdie ding gaan jy sommer fantasties lyk. Maar nou is dit eers oor en as 'n bietjie storytyd hier op Expresso.
Make breakfast story time with Kellogg's Rice Krispies and Espresso.
So Rice Krispies came forward with a great new way of making breakfast time fun for the kids. And if you take a look at their brand new packaging, you'll see on the back there's a nice little storyboard happening right there. So what you can do with this is you can cut it out, laminate it, or you don't even have to laminate it, but this can serve as a placemat. You can put your bowl right there and your kids can just read along with the story. Now there's 4 different stories that you can collect, and what makes it even more special is the fact that you can download the actual sound clip for the stories on either your iPad or your phone or your PC, and you can play it back while the kids are reading this. It's fantastic. Just log on to ricekrispies.co.za. But talking about stories, this morning we're chatting to Lisa Cohen, who's a storytelling expert, and she's talking about the benefits that stories have when it comes to kids. Lisa, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Thank you.
Great to have you. And this is something that I never thought about, you know, the fact that stories can be beneficial to kids. Let's talk about those benefits for kids. How can stories benefit kids?
Well, the minute you hear once upon a time, you can be transported to another world. And that allows children to enter their imaginations, allows creativity to blossom. It allows parents to connect with their children also.
Yeah. So you, in a way, you're saying that the relationship between child and parent grows stronger because of the storytelling.
For sure. I'm not sure if you remember story time as a child.
I
but
do.
For me, that was a really, really, really special time.
Yeah.
So it really connects parent, child, listener, audience.
Yeah. Okay, so you've seen the little stories we have on the Rice Krispie boxes here. It's very cute little fantasy stories. What type of stories would you suggest people tell their kids?
Well, any kind of story from the heart, so it could be a myth, a legend, it could be a personal biographical story, it could be a fairy tale, any kind of story.
All right. Now, I was very intrigued when you came in, you know, with your designation of being an expert storyteller. What exactly does an expert storyteller do? What is your work like?
Well, it's sharing stories and also teaching. I teach parents how to tell great stories to children, and I also share the stories with the children.
All right. So for grown-ups and children alike.
Yeah.
All right.
We all love stories.
We all do love stories.
Yeah.
I don't think we can. I remember getting lost, you know, in those stories that my parents told me, my grandparents, especially the grandparents, because they can tell so many stories about their history and where they come from. Now, in terms of, you know, your tips for parents, how do you go about storytelling? Where do you start? For someone like, I'm a new parent or parent to be, and I would like to just, you know, prepare myself in terms of telling good stories.
I think it's important, the most important thing for a parent when telling a story to a child is to connect with the story themselves. So really connect with the story, see the images of the story themselves, and then the child will connect too.
Yeah, and I guess telling it in a way of trying to make it as visual in the child's mind as possible.
Exactly, so describe the images, the colors, the taste, the sounds. The textures.
What's your take on scary stories for a kid?
Scary stories. Kids can actually handle more than we think. So, but yeah. Listen to your intuition about that.
That's it. And at what age would you say, you know, a good age to start telling stories?
From really, really young.
Even though they can't fully understand it.
Yeah, I think from really, really young till 90.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Lisa, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some insights into storytelling for kids.
You
really
for
appreciate
having
it.
Me. Thank you.
Yeah, nice to have you. And of course, we are giving a book voucher away worth 500 Rand today. It's very, very easy to win. You can just SMS the keyword Espresso, your name and city to 33728, and you could walk away with that voucher and go buy your youngster that book he or she always wanted. We'll be right back.
Make breakfast story time with Kellogg's Rice Krispies and Espresso.